Hi guys, today we're gonna try to answer the question if it's still worth it to make videos in 2023. Let's get to it. This is the best ice cream cone I had in like 20 years, to be honest. So I really recommend this place. It's in the Wanstead Park. It's very creamy. That's like old school recipe, I think. I haven't been vlogging for a while now. It was a couple weeks, maybe months. I've been having a little bit of a burnout. I was even wondering if it's still worth it to make videos in 2023, because all of that, you know, AI tools, AI generated images, AI generated voice, you have the entire texts generated by ChatGPT, and then you have AI avatars that can read the text and all that good stuff. And I was thinking to myself, is there any more place for actual creators? A lot of influencers say that, oh, it's the best time in filmmaking because it never was easier to make videos now and you have so many tools at your disposal. Everyone can do it now, blah, blah, blah. And it's true in a way. Obviously, the barrier to entry is very low now. Everyone can make videos now and let's face it, pretty good videos. There is more and more editing tools. The way I see it, repetitive tasks that are part of the process are being replaced with the actual AI plugins. You know, some people say that it's not gonna replace the creator, it's only gonna be like an extension of creating abilities. It will make things easier and faster, and that's true as well. However, if you are the person working in the video industry and you have some very repetitive job, you are like a colorist, you are retouching pictures or maybe doing some basic motion graphics, doing some very repetitive basic editing, you may be in trouble because instead of paying retoucher to retouch the entire batch of wedding pictures, you're gonna upload the picture to the software and you're gonna choose the style of colors you want to achieve. It's gonna give you like a nice uniform stylized look. Then you're gonna use another plugin that's gonna analyze the faces and remove all of the blemishes, marks and anything that you would normally want to remove. You're just gonna look through the entire batch of pictures, and if you're gonna see anything odd, you're just gonna correct it manually. So that is a little bit concerning. A lot of jobs gonna be replaced, a lot of positions no longer gonna exist. But I was thinking to myself, what is the approach we should take as creators to find ourselves in this new system, in this new situation? And I think one of the major things we need to consider is to focus on the human side of things, on telling the stories, interviewing interesting people. We have a helicopter visiting the scene today. Actually, I came out to test my drone today because I haven't flown my drone for a couple months now, and I think my drone skills are a little bit rusty at this point and I need to refresh my memory. So that's why I came here to the park today to take the drone for a spin a little and share with you my thoughts. A little bit of a random episode today. In terms of filmmaking and videography and like semi-professional videos and stuff like that, the way I see it is that the more boring and repetitive is your job, the higher the risk of you being replaced. So for example, if you are shooting videos, documenting events, interviewing interesting people, telling interesting stories, creating some art, some fiction and stuff like that, I think you have more chance of actually staying in business because of that big human element that is part of your creative process. If you're doing some very simple and repetitive content, for example, you're doing video on how to operate some piece of equipment in the warehouse, usually before somebody was filming that instruction with like a human and somebody was reading the script and you were filming in the studio and all that good stuff. Now I think ChatGPT gonna generate the script based on the key points in the virtual studio using virtual avatar, speaking with the virtual voice, something like Synesthesia or a similar software. They're gonna record the talking part. All the other stuff like the actual visuals of how to use that equipment gonna be generated by the AI image generator. Content like that gonna be created without videographers. The actual volume, the actual amount of content gonna be much higher and much cheaper. If that was your bottom line, if that was your main field of videography, you should be worried, in my opinion. I think it's not worth it to focus on the technical stuff anymore. I think the technology is gonna be more and more accessible and easy and foolproof, and it's gonna be less and less important to focus on all of the skills and technical stuff. Even in camera, you're gonna have a lot of help from the AI. I think that's gonna be covered too very soon. And I was thinking even in terms of my own videos, like recently I made a video on how to remove a spot on your face in Final Cut Pro, and I had quite a lot of views. I had like 8,000 views on it, which is not much in the grand scheme of things, but for me it's quite a lot because I don't get that many views. So my first thought was I should make more technical videos like this. I should make more tutorials on how to do something in the Final Cut Pro and stuff like that. But then I realized something that's skill today, it's gonna be a plugin tomorrow. For instance, removing a spot on your face from the moving video, it's a little bit tricky at the moment, but very soon you're gonna have a plugin in your video editing software that's gonna analyze your face. Probably it's gonna recognize all the pimples on your face automatically and just blur them out. If it's not gonna recognize, maybe you're gonna touch the screen on your iPad to help them. A lot of operations that requires a lot of manual work in the software gonna be replaced with like automatic algorithms and stuff. The same with like color grading, audio editing and all that stuff. Maybe we should only focus on telling the stories, focus on like exploring the world, filming your travels and adventures and telling stories from your life, interviewing interesting people and stuff like that. Because as I said before, if you focus on only teaching people the technical skills and teaching people the technical quirks of equipment and stuff like that, I think in a couple years, maybe even less than that, all that knowledge can become completely obsolete and unnecessary because the equipment and the software are gonna do most of the work for you. So everybody gonna be focusing only on the story side of things. Nobody gonna be focusing on the technical. Only people working in Netflix and Hollywood doing Marvel movies and Netflix series, those people gonna focus on technicalities. And if that's your goal, to be like the mainstream filmmaker working in the big industry, probably then learning all the conventional technical stuff is gonna be still important. But for all the other regular content creators, influencers and semi-professional filmmakers, that knowledge may become obsolete pretty soon, I think. So yeah, we need to focus on telling good stories. There is no other way, I think. I will still make some tutorials. Maybe they're gonna be less focused on software. They're gonna be more focused on the physical stuff like actual framing and lighting and how to do a nice light setup on the budget, maybe stuff like that. Now I'm gonna have to pull out my drone and take it for a spin because the weather is changing a little bit. I'm not sure how much sunlight I have left. It feels nice to come back on YouTube, and now you're gonna see me a little bit more often. Oh my days, guys, I almost had a heart attack. I'm so glad I went out today to practice with the drone a little bit. I'm glad I didn't just go on holidays and just fly there spontaneously, because my skills really got a little bit rusty, especially, you know, when you fly the drone, it's a sunny day, you need to pay attention to many things. You need to pay attention to where the drone is, but also you need to check the wind, you need to check the battery, how much battery you have left, you need to update the home position when you're walking around and stuff like that. I got a little bit carried away. I wanted to update my home position because I've noticed that the battery is running a little bit low and the drone was quite far away from me. You know, when you have your map, the little triangle is the position of the drone and the little circle is the position of you on the map. When I updated the home position, instead of updating it to the position where I am situated, I updated the home position to the coordinates where the drone is at the moment, and the battery was running low. The return to home started to kick in, and then I've noticed that my home position is in totally different place, and the worst thing was it wasn't on the open field. It was somewhere above the buildings and stuff, so that would be absolutely horrible if it started landing there. So I went to the menu to quickly update the home position, and you know, in that moment when you are a little bit stressed and you are under pressure of time, sometimes you can be a little bit confused. So I had this a little moment of panic. Yeah, I got myself together, but then I've noticed that my return to home altitude was set to maximum, like 120 meters. 30 or 40 meters would be more than enough, and it's quite windy day. It's so windy that when my drone was in the cinema, you know, the slowest mode, the drone couldn't stay in one position. It was drifting away a little bit with the wind. It's not good to have a very high return to home position if it's a very windy day, because usually most of the time the higher you are, the stronger stronger is the wind, and when the battery is dying, your drone gonna go so high up to come back home. It's gonna reach the point where the wind can be too strong for the motors. I had to quickly change the return to home altitude as well. It's important lesson. If you didn't fly your drone for a while and you are planning to go somewhere, when you're gonna fly above water and close to the ocean with the strong winds and stuff like that, it's better if you go practice in the open field where you can test all of the safety features and all of that good stuff, and to remind yourself. But yeah, lesson learned. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for today's vlog. If you had fun, don't forget to leave the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because there is more content on the way, and see you in the next one.